Hey everyone. So I said I'd do an update yesterday on the current trends of Steam, everything like that, and kind of give my additional thoughts. I know it's only been one day, um, but by the looks of it, at least on Poloniex, I don't know if this is the case anywhere else. Maybe you guys can fill in some of the blanks. I mean, there's an awful lot of blank going on here. I'm really shooting in the dark, but it looks a little bit to me like anytime Steam dips right now, someone's just gonna gobble it all up. And what I'm starting to see at the moment is a fucking uptrend. Uh, so there's a few things that about Steam that's really, really quite surprising. Um, Maybe you might want to tell your buddies who like talk about universal basic income, and you might want to if you have any, even if you have like a communist buddy or something like that. Uh, there's something interesting going on with this. I think it's a little closer to the universal basic income thing because it's more or less just an unbridled capitalistic system uh, through a feature complete or a feature based cryptocurrency. Uh, but if you do follow back, thanks. If you do have a lot of steam power, you can make a pretty decent amount of money every time you post something. You make one of your upvotes in cryptocurrency. Like I could say anything. I could be like, blah. I could just do a whole bunch of like. Of course, people might start downvoting me if I start doing that shit. Like you get flagged if you do weird stuff, right? Uh, so that's actually another side of it as well. So Steam is policed by other users, and if they flag you, that hits your earnings. So we might actually see people crop up that act sort of like deputies, where all they do is just look at every all of the popular stuff and look at people who have like lots and lots of Steam power and might be the most likely to be exploiting the system and sort of and then do like a write up on it and gain a following and finance simply for doing that. And it could actually probably end up being something that catches on. At least that's what I'm seeing right now. And you'd end up having somebody with a following like that would be able to crack down on people uh, who are exploiting the system. But with that said, though, if you have, there's this one guy I follow, uh, Trayvon is his first name on here. He's got like 100,000 Steam, and when he upvotes, he gives somebody like a if he does a 100% upvote, he gives somebody like $36. So every time he posts one of his videos every day, uh, he makes $36. Even if he lost everything that he had, and the guy's rich as fuck right now, but even if he lost every penny that he had, but he still had his Steam power, he'd be able to survive on just making a couple posts every day. Think about that. So, this is why we should be looking at this. We should be watching this, or at least my guess was that this is not sustainable. But if this is fucking sustainable, that's insane. It changes the entire playing field. I mean, this is already a universal basic income. The only thing is that you have to invest into it. You can't just be like, which, and in my opinion, that actually sounds better than a universal basic income because universal basic income is just like magic money, basically. I mean, it's not. It's taxpayer funded and all that shit, but like this actually requires you to buck up and do something. But once you have it, maybe you have it. I don't know. Maybe it'll lose value. Maybe shit'll crash. Maybe cryptocurrency will get destroyed by you know, new technology that comes out in the near future. Fucking well, I who knows? I mean, you don't know what's going to happen with cryptocurrency, but I know there are a lot of people. There are entire subreddits like just dedicated to stuff like this. But yeah, look at that though. Like, so I guess in one respect you have to provide value somehow. Like you can't just have universal basic income. Well, anyway, the only reason why I was just bringing that up is just because this kind of brings it seems slightly related, or at least very different from the current system. Like if I don't know, man. I mean, if I dump all of my savings and stuff like that into this, it's a risk, right? It's a huge risk. But if I did do that, I'd be able to survive off of my own posts probably. It wouldn't be a very good surviving. Like I wouldn't be very, it wouldn't be super comfortable. But there's the other side of it as well. Like, all right, so let's say I amass a fucking huge chunk of steam power, right? But that actually attracts other people. So now my audience can get bigger just for simply having more steam power. It's swank. It's fucking like it's sexy musk. You know what I mean? It's like people are just people are going to be attracted to you just because you have steam power. It's not just followers on Facebook. It's not just followers on Twitter. It's literally you have this number that makes it so that you can provide people with sustenance. Fucking hell. That is not a paradigm like anything I've seen so far. So, uh, I don't know, man. I mean, you can just survive off of your own fucking posts. Just, but you have to, but you can't just post bullshit because you have to be worried about people watching you. And I guess as the more steam power you have, the more people are going to be watching you. Unless the more dangerous of an investment it would be to try to exploit the system. You're basically wrangled into being a good content creator simply for having more steam power. And I mean, if you just buy into the system, but you don't really make posts, or maybe you're just a curator at that point. The system is pretty fucking intelligent so far, just from what I'm looking at. Like, I know the flagging system can be exploited for political reasons, but I mean that's a whole nother can of worms right there too. Like, somebody if I did actually get into an argument with somebody recently. It wasn't really so much an argument, but it was just he was like, well, one of the reasons to flag people is is hate speech. Hate speech is not definable. It doesn't exist. It's not a real term. It's just anything you disagree with at this point in time. Like right now, and it has nothing to do with it. It's just criticizing somebody is hate speech. You could say anything is hate speech. Hate speech is technically anything somebody just doesn't want you to say. Like you could say I like capitalism. That's hate speech because you're now promoting the patriarchy and capitalism is against minorities or something. And boom, but you're fucked. Like hate speech can be anything right now. And there's downvotes. So there's that side of it as well. Like I can't imagine like some of the bigger YouTubers uh, coming on here like Sargon of the Cod or Sargon of Akkad or something like that. I'm really curious to see like Sargon or Stefan Molyneux or something like that actually show up on Steemit. It'd be really weird because you can almost guarantee your ass that they're gonna get downvoted, and then there's gonna be flame wars. Now, flag wars, not flame wars. Now on the in that case, right? When you have people who are you know very political on here, and there's flag wars, flagging that person and they're not having a good reason, well, you can't flag anybody anonymously, right? So that means that your identity is known. So when you flag somebody, you have to do it. You have to do it for you know, an outstanding reason, like a reason that is visible to everyone. And if the reason isn't that good, you're gonna end up having these like people retaliating. You'll have retaliation. You'll have back and forth. It'll be like, and I think in that respect, I can't imagine it being anything short of just uh, either extraordinarily toxic when it comes to profits, or damn, I don't know. How can you quantify? How can you quantify the way this would play out? Well, anyway, uh, it's something to definitely be paying attention to, and you know, if tomorrow this continues on any kind of a if even if this just stays even where it is right now, it's like $2 and the current value Steam is like $2.11 or some shit like that, like per Steam. So this 2,000 Steam ends up being 4,000. Um, if this stays even, it's a, a miracle. There's a lot of things to be paying attention to here. There's the political climate, the all kinds of really crazy possibilities can erupt from this, and it's also currency that's just being sort of belched out of thin air. That kind of affects things as well. Not only does that affect, not only does that affect, the fact that the IRS can't track any of this, but it also affects the fact that, um, I mean, the IRS can technically track it, but they have to be technically savvy, and I just don't have any faith that they are. Like, if the IRS was technically savvy, they'd have this all under control, and it would be pretty cool. Like, they need to have like fire everybody and hire like smart people, but which is just never going to happen. It's a government program. Like they're never going to figure this out. Like they still don't understand what it is or how it works, or I imagine it's going to take them 5 years before they actually really catch up. But there's the other side of this as well. Is like you have people who say that like, well, it's impossible to make wealth just come out of nothing. It's like getting blood from stone. Well, mining cryptocurrency kind of is the very act of doing that, isn't it? So this hits things on a lot of philosophical ways, and it's available to everybody. And the hard fork 19 made it so that even the smallest people on the list are capable are capable of providing wealth to each other. You could just have a bunch of friends. Get a get a group of like 20 or 30 people, all jump on here at the same time, and then just fucking like all of each other's posts. As long as you're actually posting stuff, like post a picture of food or something and everybody fucking upvotes it. You can make money off of just you and your fucking 30 pals. Like it could come on this little fucking like tribe or something, and you're good because people aren't going to look at that and say, "Oh well, it's being exploited." I don't know. The one thing I do know about human beings is that we're really good at finding exploits. right? It's a constant war. But if the people who are watching the people doing the exploits are people, like are able to uh, directly affect the earnings, then it becomes player versus player. And player versus player is an infinite battle where the system can be simple, but fooling other humans is goddamn impossible. So that's that. I mean, I come from this very much from the perspective of a game developer. People's behaviors, behavioral training, like encouragement. Right now, the encouragement is extraordinarily high. Like, and not seeing this completely and utterly flop at the moment is pretty fucking crazy, to say the least. Let me take a look. So I did a whole bunch of upvotes. Yeah, I mean, I must have gave out maybe $20, $30 to different people, and my voting power is still at 95%. It recharged. It was down to like 86 or something like that, and now it's up to 95 again. Voting power, honestly, should just be like in the wallet. Like you should just be able to see it. In fact, actually, when you're, well, you want to be careful not to let people be too stingy. But yeah, like, okay, so so if you have a lot of Steam power, more people will show up. You self upvote. So if you have a lot of Steam power, you can just survive off of your own posts. You don't even need to be thinking about whether everybody else hates your guts or not. Well, I mean, I guess they can flag your shit. If you make an enemy, then you won't be able to survive. I mean, that's just straight up hitting the rice bowl. And there's no, there's no nuance to it. People literally will attack your way of life by flagging you. So politics be pretty brutal. Um, yeah, you know what? We're probably going to see people actually do like lawsuits and shit. If you have people who are making like, you know, $1,000 a day or something that starts getting like downvoted by some whale because he doesn't like some political thing he said because it was quote unquote hate speech, then yeah, get ready, guys. So anyway, I'm watching this pretty fucking closely right now. If this shit don't if this shit doesn't like completely tank, damn, like fucking hell. This is a big deal. This is a really big deal. I'm thinking it's gonna tank. It's too good. Too good. Too good to be true. Too fucking good. Alright, I'm gonna end it now. Sorry for rambling so long. It's like 18 minutes, but yeah, I just wanted to drop my mind soup on all of you for a moment. Thanks for listening. Hope you enjoyed, and done.